Bruce Lee had a recurring dream for the last 6 months of his life. He told only one person about it. That person kept it secret for 40 years. When they finally revealed what Bruce described, it changed how everyone understood his death. Hong Kong, January 9th, 6 months before Bruce Lee's death. The city is cold by Hong Kong standards, not cold by the standards of anywhere else. But the humidity makes the chill feel deeper than the temperature suggests. The kind of cold that gets into things. Bruce Lee wakes at 3 a.m., sits up in bed, breathing carefully, the way you breathe when you've come from somewhere vivid and need to remember where you actually are. Linda stirs, asks if he's all right. He says yes, goes back to sleep, but he doesn't go back to sleep. Lies in the dark for 2 hours, staring at the ceiling, running through what he just saw, trying to hold it before it dissolves the way dreams dissolve, before the edges blur and the details slip and all that remains is the emotional residue. This is the third time in 2 months he's had the same dream. In the morning, he says nothing to Linda, gets up, trains, has breakfast with the children. The day proceeds, the dream stays with him. Underneath everything, a layer of experience that doesn't have anywhere to go. He calls Raymond Chow. Not about film business. Raymond is surprised. Bruce rarely calls just to talk. But today he calls and asks if Raymond has time, just to talk. They meet for lunch. A small restaurant in Kowloon. Private, not the kind of place anyone would expect to find Bruce Lee, which is exactly why Bruce chose it. They eat. Small talk at first. Film business drifting in despite Bruce's intentions. Then Bruce says, I need to tell you something I haven't told anyone. Raymond waits. I've been having a dream, Bruce says. The same dream, 3 times now. It started 2 months ago. Raymond says nothing. Listens. I'm in a room, Bruce begins. Not any room I recognize. White walls, no windows, very quiet. The kind of quiet that isn't peaceful, the kind that means something is absent that should be present. He pauses, drinks his tea. I'm standing in the center of the room, and I know the way you know things in dreams without being told, that I need to find a door, that there's a way out of this room and I need to find it. Not because someone is threatening me, not because I'm afraid, just because the room is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be somewhere else, and I need to find the door to get there. So you look for the door, Raymond says. I look for the door, I walk along every wall, I run my hands along the surface. Every wall is smooth, no seams, no handles, no hinges, no indication that a door exists anywhere, but I know it does, I can feel it. The way you feel something true before you can prove it. The door is there, I just can't find it. Bruce sets down his teacup. I spend most of the dream looking, methodically. The way I approach training, systematic, patient, covering every inch, and I don't find it. But I don't panic. I don't give up. I just keep looking, because I know it's there. What happens at the end of the dream, Raymond asks. I find it, always at the same place. The wall I started at, the first wall I checked. The door was there the whole time, but I couldn't see it on the first pass. Only after going around the entire room, only after checking everything else, only then does it become visible. And you go through it? That's where it ends. Every time I find the door, put my hand on it, and wake up. Raymond is quiet for a moment. What do you think it means? Bruce considers this carefully, not dismissing the question, not rushing to an answer. I think it means I'm looking for something I can't find directly, something that only becomes visible after I've exhausted the obvious places. What are you looking for? I don't know. That's what bothers me. In the dream, I know exactly what I'm looking for, the door. The way out. But when I wake up, I can't translate what the door represents, what it leads to, what I'm trying to get to. Raymond watches his friend. How do you feel when you wake up? Not afraid, not sad. Something more like incomplete, like I interrupted something before it finished, like the dream was going somewhere and I woke up before I got there. Maybe that's significant, Raymond says carefully, that you find the door but never go through. Bruce looks at him. Something in his expression, not alarm, more like recognition, like Raymond named something Bruce was already circling. Maybe, Bruce says. He changes the subject. They talk about Game of Death, about Enter the Dragon's release schedule, about the business. The dream goes back underneath everything, but it stays. The fourth time the dream comes is in March 9th. Bruce wakes at 3 a.m. again. This time he doesn't try to go back to sleep. Gets up, goes to his desk, writes down what he remembers. Not analysis, just description. The room, the walls, the systematic search, the door always at the beginning, the hand on the door, the waking. He puts the description in his notebook. The private one, the locked one that nobody reads. The fifth time is in May, the sixth in June. Each time the same structure: room, search, door found at the starting wall, hand on door, waking. But the June dream is different in one detail. When Bruce finds the door in June and puts his hand on it, this time the door is warm, not like sun-warmed wood, like something living, like the warmth of another person's hand through a barrier, like something on the other side pressing back. He tells Raymond about this detail. They're at the same restaurant. June 9th. Raymond listens. The door is warmer. Something is on the other side. I could feel it through the door, not threatening, not dangerous, just present, like someone waiting. Someone you know? Bruce thinks. I don't know. It didn't feel like a stranger, but I couldn't identify it. Just presence, warmth, something familiar. Did you open it? I woke up. Same as always. They sit with this. The restaurant around them doing what restaurants do, people eating, talking, laughing, the ordinary business of living, and these two men sitting with a recurring dream about a door with warmth on the other side. Bruce, Raymond says carefully, these dreams, do they frighten you? Bruce thinks about this honestly. No. That's what's strange. They should maybe. A room with no exit, searching and searching, something unknown on the other side of a door. That should be frightening. But it's not. Every time I wake up, I feel something more like peace, like I got close to something, like I'm making progress towards something I need to reach. Progress toward what? That's the question. Raymond keeps this conversation, keeps all the conversations about the dream, not in notes, in memory, the specific words, the details, the way Bruce described the warmth through the door, the peace he woke with rather than fear. He keeps it secret. For 40 years, not because he was asked to, because it felt too private, too intimate. The kind of thing a man tells you because he needs to tell someone and you happen to be the someone available, not because he wants it shared, because he needs the weight of it distributed slightly, carried by two instead of one. Raymond carries it for 40 years, while building on Bruce Lee's legacy, while working with Linda and Shannon on various projects, while watching the legend grow and the mythology accumulate and the interpretations multiply, always carrying this private thing, the recurring dream, the white room, the door, the warmth on the other side. In 2013, Raymond is 79 years old. He knows he's in the last chapter of his own life, the awareness that time has its own door, its own room with walls you can feel before you see them. He contacts Shannon, asks to meet, not business, personal. They meet in Hong Kong. Raymond tells her about the lunches, the conversations, the dream. Shannon listens without interrupting. Raymond describes the room, the walls, the systematic search, the door always at the first wall, the hand on the door, the waking. Then describes the detail from June, the warmth through the door, the presence on the other side, familiar but unidentifiable. Shannon is very still. He never told my mother about this, she asks. Not to my knowledge. He told me because I think he needed to tell someone. But he didn't want it to worry Linda. Didn't want it to become something that changed the household energy. He was protecting her. The way he always protected people by not sharing what might frighten them. How many times did he have it? At least 6 that he told me about. Possibly more. He mentioned it became more frequent in the last months. Shannon thinks about the timing. January 1973 through July 19, the last 6 months of his life. A recurring dream about a white room, a door that couldn't be found, then could be found, then had warmth on the other side. What do you think it meant? She asks Raymond. Raymond is quiet for a long time. I think he knew, not consciously, the way he knew things through his body before his mind caught up. I think something in him was processing what was coming. The room without windows, the door that had to be found, the warmth on the other side that felt familiar. "Hype man," Shannon says quietly. Raymond looks at her. My father's teacher died 7 months before he did, December 1972. The dream started in January 1973, 1 month after Ip Man died. She pauses. The presence on the other side of the door. The warmth that felt familiar but he couldn't identify. Raymond absorbs this. I never made that connection. But yes, the timing and the quality he described. Familiar, known, not frightening. He was dreaming about the door his teacher had already gone through, Shannon says, about finding it himself, about the warmth of someone already on the other side. They sit with this. The Hong Kong afternoon going on around them. The city indifferent as always, continuing without regard for the weight of what two people are carrying in a quiet room. Why didn't he go through, Shannon asks. He found the door every time, put his hand on it, but always woke up before going through. Because he wasn't ready, Raymond says. Or it wasn't time. The dream was preparation, not arrival. He was learning the room, learning where the door was, learning that warmth waited on the other side, getting ready for the moment of going through. But the moment wasn't in the dream. It was July 20th, Shannon says. Yes. Shannon asks Raymond if Bruce seemed afraid in those last months, whether the dream changed him, whether knowing what he seemed to know on some level changed how he lived. Raymond thinks carefully. He seemed more present, more deliberate, like someone who understands that time has a specific quality they hadn't fully appreciated before. He was always intense, always focused. But in those last months, the focus had a different quality, like he was paying attention to things he might otherwise rush past, like he was making sure to be somewhere fully before leaving it. This lands for Shannon in a specific way, the things she's heard from others about those final months. Mrs. Wong describing the last training session, the way he touched each piece of equipment, the bow to the empty room, the quality of presence that moved a housekeeper to tears without her knowing why. He was saying goodbye to everything, had been saying goodbye for 6 months. Not consciously, in dreams, in the quality of his attention, in the warmth he could feel through a door he was learning to find. Shannon incorporates this understanding into how she speaks about her father's death, not as sudden tragedy, or not only as that, also as a completion. A man who spent 6 months in his dreams learning where the door was, learning that warmth waited, learning that the familiar presence of someone already through was there. And then on July 20, 1973, he found the door for the last time and went through. Raymond Chow dies in 2018, 5 years after telling Shannon about the dreams. He carried them for 45 years, set them down in a quiet room in Hong Kong on a 2013 afternoon, and then lived 5 more years carrying something lighter. The dream Bruce Lee had 6 times in the last 6 months of his life. The white room, the walls with no windows, the door that could only be found after checking everywhere else, the warmth on the other side that felt like someone known, like someone who'd already been through. 40 years of one man carrying it, then setting it down with the person who needed it most. The room, the door, the warmth. And finally, on a July night in 1973, the going through. That's the dream Bruce Lee never finished, until he did.